Well, happy Sunday night to everybody who is tuned in and anyone who will tune in. I'm Justin with the Podcasting Dead. Joining me tonight, Seth, a.k.a. the Appalachian American, and Maddie Dubs, a.k.a. Maddie Dubs.
It's me.
Talking about the first, season 1, episode 3 of The Last of Us as we get to the show's probably biggest departure from the game thus far. But one that I'm not necessarily mad at. So first, I always like to go to Matt, who's never played the games, has no, preconceived.
No context, nothing.
What's going to happen. So Matt, what did you think of the episode? What are your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. It kind of made me laugh because my wife has no idea of the game either. So she's like, what? Like, is this game about like two gay people? Yeah, it's a gay couple simulator. That's at least what we got from it. But no, it was a good episode.
It was very sad, man. I mean, I know the games are depressing and the show's depressing, but I was not prepared to be that bummed out at the end of this episode.
I know.
Because if you're not familiar with the games, spoilers for anybody who maybe likes the show and decides they want to play the game, you might not want to listen to this bit. But in the game, number one, when you find Bill, he looks to be about the age he is at the beginning of the episode. Like, he looks like he's maybe middle-aged.
Like a middle-aged man.
You know, the only, I don't mind the way they did it. I think the only thing I would say is the tragedy in the game is that Bill was hurt because Frank had pretty much taken himself out, unalived himself, as the YouTube algorithms will allow, and basically left Bill there. And Bill was just, honestly was angry about Frank. So it was a bit different. Like, by the time you get there, Frank's already unalived himself, and he, Bill's kind of scorned and whatnot. And it's kind of got this tragic element of like love and betrayal at the same time. But with that said, I didn't mind it, and I did not expect to be as sad when they were doing the whole getting married and like the dinner and all of that. It's like I look over and my fiance is just bawling. It's like I didn't expect this tonight.
Like,
Seth,
how many people?
Let's hear it. Oh, wait, go ahead.
How many people get to plan their last day exactly how they want it?
Not often. Life usually doesn't allow that.
So I like that aspect.
But what do you think, Seth?
Are you switching teams?
What do you mean?
I think you know what I mean.
I'm coming out of this episode for the first time with more negative than positive.
Oh
boy, I totally didn't predict that. Let's hear it.
Let's see. It's mainly,
full disclosure, before the episode started, I told Matt, I said, I'll bet you money Seth's gonna have more problems with this episode.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I didn't like how, I understand in the beginning. I understand, he said he went to that store like a couple years, but do you really forget where you put your supplies?
Now, what are you referring to?
In the beginning, where Joel and Ellie are coming across that store, and he's walking through and he forgets where he puts his own supplies.
How long had he said it'd been since he'd been in that store?
He said it was a couple years.
And he is almost 60.
Yeah, but do you really forget where you put stuff?
I don't know.
I do all the time.
I'm not even trying to like disagree with you. My father is 57, and I kid you not, the man can put something in a drawer to get tomorrow, and the next day he's around the house. He has the worst short-term memory of anyone I've met.
Right. So, and I put that as kind of a mid, because do you forget stuff? Do you not forget stuff? Like,
I do all the time.
As far as placement, absolutely not. Well, I don't know. I can't ever find my keys. But other than that, I can tell you where every important thing is in this house. You know what I mean?
And I just thought her comments about him not was stupid. Like, her comments about him being stupid was kind of cringe. Other than that.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think one of my only complaints is how do you have a basement full of just awesome guns and the gun you go for when you're getting attacked is a bolt action rifle?
That was point number 2. On the
I mean,
cons.
if I
Bill-
had a basement full of guns, I would have
Yeah.
some semi-automatic, high capacity something beside my bed at all times.
My number 2 says Bill stands in the street with no cover and a bolt action rifle.
He's a man.
Yeah, the no cover thing was kind of dumb. The only I guess excuse I can make for it is I would like to think I wouldn't do that, but I've also never been shot at, so I don't know what the heck I would do in that situation. But you're right, to get out in no cover whatsoever and a bolt action rifle, especially when you have a oh my God, a like $30,000, $100,000 worth of gun choices in your basement, and you pick like the worst one.
And my number 3, my biggest con, no school and no bloater.
Oh yeah. I think well you can see from the trailer the bloater's coming. That's on the way.
All right. I didn't know that.
Yeah. On one of the trailers, like at the end of the trailer, you see like something on fire and you see a bloater coming up from like under something. So we're gonna get a bloater.
I've tried to stay away from trailers and stuff like that because I want to be as fresh and open-minded as I can.
I wanted to, man, but I was just so excited when they announced this show. I just couldn't help myself. Now I've stayed off spoilers and stuff like that, but no, it was and it was like I said, I don't mind the way they did it, but when they switched, I think once they switched and I saw they were both like you said when we were all messaging, like geriatric age, I was like, I got a feeling Joel's not gonna get to meet Bill in person on this episode. Like I could just feel it.
Well, he did meet him, but you mean Ellie?
Oh, no. Meet him in person at the end. Like, I mean, they met earlier, but I'm saying like he was on his way to meet Bill.
Oh,
And and I was like, I got a feeling like Bill's not going to be alive when Joel and Ellie get there.
well, it was one thing I liked in the game was the bickering back and forth between Ellie and Bill was pretty funny at times.
Oh yeah, especially like, what did I just say? Don't touch my stuff.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was really, really sad. I just did not expect it to be that sad. Like I said, on one hand, I don't mind that they changed that. I mean, it ended up being pretty darn sad, but it's like on the other hand, like I said, when I've said, like I said 1,000 times, I'm getting sleepy. In the game, it just was so much more tragic because Bill was just like mad at Frank for taking his own life, and then when he's like, wasn't there already some in the bottle? I was like, no, Bill's going with him.
That's my wife said that. Like, I bet he drugged up that bottle too.
What did your wife think of this episode, Matt?
She liked it, but I asked her because I wanted to get her feedback too before I came down here. I'm like, what'd you like about the episode? And she doesn't seem to really like Ellie's character. Like, I'm glad we didn't see much screen time with Ellie. I think she thinks she's like too sarcastic or just too.
Oh,
too
she would hate the game then.
Yep.
Because like, I mean, the way they're doing it, no kidding. I mean, it's like a mirror of the game. Like, yeah, she is like a mirror of the game. She says the F word nonstop. And she's very crash and very like, I'm going to annoy you until you love me type. So
yeah, her attitude is pretty spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe her attitude is just a bit abrasive for my wife.
I like the I don't know if was the arcade game. That was I don't know if it was actually Mortal Kombat that she saw, but like, when she's talking about, my friend said there's like this girl with this monster face and then she like swallows you and spits out your bones. That was definitely a Mortal Kombat Melina reference for anybody that ever played like the old Mortal Kombats. I remember in Mortal Kombat 2 was, I think, Melina's first time showing up, and that, that's when she does like the inhale you and spit out your bones thing. Michael Myers says, you need to ask your wife this, because I don't find Ellie annoying, but says you need to ask your wife, does she find her more annoying than Carl?
I'll have to ask her that when I retire to the master bedroom tonight.
Let's see what some of the comments are saying. Maddie Williams says they did an homage to Ron Swanson by him eating the steak. There's one thing Ron Swanson loved it was a steak and freedom. Which is bad because, like, I told Caitlin as the episode first started, I was like, okay, so Ron Swanson's still in the game. He's still. I mean, I would imagine the real Ron Swanson has got a basement full of guns too. Teresa Harper says absolutely loved it. What is Ron Swanson doing in The Last of Us?
Yeah, when he retired from the Parks and Rec department, he got. Yeah,
Jake Carp said, "Don't care. Where's Pedro Pascal?"
So according,
Don't care.
So looking on Google, I found there is a still picture of the arcade cabinet they found called The Turning. I'm guessing it's like a zombie game.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool because she definitely made a Mortal Kombat reference there. Very cool. But yeah, it's a lot of little details that they're doing that I just love about this show, though. Like even down to the little thing of like, because I've seen it in tons of games and then you don't see it on the movies or whatever. But I like that even on Ellie's backpack, she's got that little flashlight that's bent because that's what you have in the game. I like the little nuances they're doing. And Seth, we were talking before the episode about the things that you wanted to see in the episode. And I think that you got some of it because I know one of the things you wanted was kind of, Joel dealing with the emotion of losing Tess. And they definitely hit on that a couple of times this episode.
Yeah. You're talking about Ellie's, you were talking about Ellie. I seen her backpack and I like the little monster hanging off the back end of it.
Yeah, because in the game she puts little patches and things on the backpack. So it's a lot of little things they're doing that keep it consistent with the game.
Did you notice the when they were in that convenience store in the beginning, Joel found his supplies and he found a health kit, and the health kit looked identical to the game.
Yep. It's definitely, by the end of this show, love or hate it, you definitely got to give them props more so than almost any video game adaptation I've seen of trying to just interject little details from the game into it. It's been up to this point, it's been pretty faithful. And like I said, and I was watching the little thing that comes on after the episode where they're talking about the episode, and they said that this is probably the biggest departure from the game that they've done to this, I'm assuming they mean up just in any of the filming so far. So I'm expecting the rest to be pretty consistent. Didn't the voice actor for Tess pass away today? Says Michael Myers.
Hold on. I'll get on
it. I hadn't heard that, man. It was cool that we got to see Tess again. We get to see Seth again.
Yeah. Hey, thanks.
But we get to see Tess again.
Seth. Yeah. Every day that we see Seth, I owe someone $1.
She looked way different without the black eye. Looked very, very pretty. So, Matt, having not played the game so far into the show, like, what are your thoughts? Does it make you intrigued about the game, or
I'm curious. Yeah.
Don't forget.
I need to borrow your old PlayStation. Give her a spin.
You could, yeah.
I love games with good stories.
I mean, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you could borrow my PS4 and play it. Like, I could let you just borrow that, and you definitely give it. Like I said,
get back that Roadcaster that Seth's borrowing.
Do what?
You want to get the Roadcaster back that you let Seth borrow?
Still on that, huh?
Oh well, I was talking to my dad about filming leather chairs and whiskey, a little thing we're going to do on the Patreon, and I was telling him, I was like, man, I regret selling Seth that Roadcaster because I could just use that as my mobile setup and then just use the 2 as my main setup. But
dang, dude, she passed
I'll just
away.
sell 2 heat pumps. You can buy another one.
Can you share that? Well, no, I don't know how YouTube copyright rights are, but
it should be fine. It's just it's a article here. Hang on. I share stuff all the time, but I mean, I guess it's not. I'm not monetized, so who cares?
Let's see. Oh man.
Dude, she was in Bosch. Dang it.
When she was 45. What does it say? How she passed away?
No, I don't see one as of yet.
Ooh, Matt, do you still have a PC that's capable of gaming?
Yes.
Which, if you want to play it before then, you can borrow the PS4. But if you can wait till March 3rd, it's released on PC.
Ooh, like what, through Steam or something?
I'm not sure. I don't know much about the PC gaming world, but if you want to play it before then, you can certainly. The PS4 is just sitting over there on the table collecting dust, so you can certainly borrow that if you want and give it a shot.
Yeah, my compy has. I can dual boot Windows on here, and it has a GPU and a CPU, so it should be able to run that.
Very nice. Very nice. I want more comments. I think the only thing I dislike about podcasting about The Last of Us, and I know it's like a growing audience, but I just miss the comment section. It's just not as many comments as it is in The Walking Dead. So light up the comments, people. Throw a super chat, anything like that.
Even a regular chat, we'll take it.
So I found on Wikipedia she was diagnosed with an unspecified cancer in 2020. Though she continued to act afterwards, she passed this morning at the age of 45.
Way too young to be passing away.
That's sad.
That is very sad. And dang, man, that sucks. I'm not even as familiar with her other work, but I just know her as Tess. But that's still just sad. Anytime someone that young passes away, it's sad. So, Matt, going forward, I'm going to ask Seth, but again, Seth and I have video game expectations of the rest of the season. But Matt, going forward in I think it's 9 episodes this season. I had said 8 at the beginning, and I think it's actually going to be 9.
No,
but
I thought we established it was an 8er.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's a 9er.
Boom. Tell him again, Seth.
It's a 9er.
Well, shucks. It's a 9er.
So, Matt, going forward, what else do you expect from what do you want
to
see? Like where do you expect it to go? Matt's frozen up.
If he's frozen, cut his camera.
He's still alive. All right. So what do you expect, Matt? Like, what do you want out of the rest of this season?
If they're going to Wyoming, I want to see some cowboy boots.
Some cowboy
Maybe he can
boots.
run into John Dutton.
I feel like John Dutton would be doing just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine. He'd have his
he still had the ranch. I'm Kevin Costner.
Let's see. Jay Scarf says 4 out of 10. Is that what you're rating the episode as a 4 out of 10?
That's his birthday is April 10th.
just wanted
didn't
y'all
want
to
us
know
to
my
forget.
birthday.
Invite us to the
Matt,
party.
what do you like about the show 3 episodes in that's got you still watching it? Like, what do you expect? Or what do you want?
I don't know. Like, I don't know what to expect. Like, it sounds like now he's got a truck, go out, find his brother, getting some crazy antics on the way.
And that's a little bit of a departure too. The whole, because what is it in the? Because what did they say? 3 weeks since they've talked. In the beginning of the show,
him and his brother. I don't remember what the time frame was.
I think he said it was 3.
Yeah, so it's interesting how they're going to do the brother thing because I don't want to spoil anything because I don't know which way they're going to go. I don't want to mention too much future game stuff. Nancy McKnight says Ellie wandering off all the time totally reminds me of Carl.
Yeah,
Ellie. Well,
actually, I do want 8 hours of them just driving through Nebraska, just how boring of a drive that stretch of interstate is.
While she's in the truck, they've got to have like that porno scene. Remember that where she finds the magazine?
Ooh. How does he walk with that thing?
Why are they stuck together?
Yeah,
I'm just hoping that's gonna actually pop up in the show.
Well, that's gonna change because Bill wasn't alone.
That's true. That's true, but it don't mean he didn't have a porno in there somewhere.
But I just want one episode just to be just a boring, just them just traveling across the country, just boring, long stretches of the road of nothing.
I don't think that's his style to have a porno mag.
I don't neither. Wasn't it Bill that she got it from though?
Yeah. Yeah. But that Bill was more crass, kind of,
Kind
I
of
don't
like
know.
Bill was in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. Bill, like, what we saw whenever they passed, him and Frank passed, was very sophisticated, and he would have never had a porno mag.
Yep. Let's see. It had to be a long time between their deaths and when they arrived, as there was dust on the table. I know it was dated for August. I was imagining a few months because I don't know. I was thinking that too. Now I was like, man, they are wearing jackets now, which made me feel like it might be like September, October, November-ish, somewhere in that range. And the note, I think, was dated August. And I know that they're also in 2023. So I definitely was thinking it was like a month to 3 months after their death.
When they left the QZ, Joel and Ellie, there was 80s music playing on the radio because that's how she found out that that was the code. There was bad ahead, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, then that
was playing on the radio.
So that's when it was confirmed. I think that's when they were trying to set up that it was bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I just wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. I thought they would expand on Bill, but I thought maybe like Bill would be in the show more than he was in the game because you're only there in that section in his town, and then you move along and never see him again. One thing that's got me a little worried though, is I think they confirmed it over the weekend that season 2 is going to be lifted from the second game, which to me just feels like there's no way you're going to cover that much.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have faith if, maybe they'll do it right. I don't know, but I just feel like, and I do know the games are very long with a lot of story, but there's also a ton of gameplay. So like when you think like, oh man, it's a 20-hour game. It's like, yeah, but you spend a lot of that playing, missions and stuff, which will be shortened in filming because obviously Joel's not going to be responsible for killing like hundreds of people. But
well, I mean, one thing we missed out on was when he got the truck, which, as a truck purist, I must say, it wasn't an S10 in the game. It was a 1500 4-door Chevrolet pickup.
Yeah, Ellie was climbed in the back seat of that one, right?
Yeah, and well, she was the one popping the clutch. Because remember, there was that whole bit where Bill and Joel were pushing the truck down the road.
Yep.
Because the battery wouldn't start.
Dude, I had an old hunk of junk 91 Ford Escort is what my parents gave me as a first vehicle. Was basically their car that was so ugly and crappy. They were like, we don't want it anymore. And it just sat in the yard. And then when I turned 16, they were like, oh, happy birthday. Like, okay, I'm not losing my V card until I get out the house. But that thing was such
still has it to this day.
I used to have to, so you haven't seen my parents' house, Seth, Matt. I don't know if you've seen my parents' house, but it's on a huge hill. Like it's
I don't think I have.
Down. Getting down and up that hill in the middle of the winter is a nightmare, but it's like a straight hill. Cannot tell you. I used to have to back that car in this way because there was a good chance that the battery was going to be dead or I was going to have to pop the clutch to get it cranked up the next morning. So then I would just let off the brake, roll down the hill, pop the clutch and keep going.
Dang.
Yep. 91 Ford Escort. That thing was hideous. I only drove it for like 2 weeks because it tried to kill me. Dang, I really wanted at least one of them to survive and join Joel and Ellie. I did too, but at the age they had become, I don't think they would be. I don't think that like Bill would be very road ready at the age he was. That would, I don't know. I don't want to say that was a complaint, but that was probably my one thing. I was like, man, they aged them up. I mean,
I don't like it.
Like they aged him up so much, but I don't know. Like I said, the way they talked, it didn't sound like up to this point. It sounded like this is the biggest departure we've written for the game. Like the way that, I don't know what he said, but the way he said it made me feel like he was saying like in general, this is like the biggest departure from the game. But it was a big one, but that little last scene, that was sad, man. That hit me in my feels.
What was your thought when Joel and Bill were sitting enjoying their lunch, talking about the chain link fence. And
Oh, I
he
thought
said
that was good.
he said the
Especially-
fence only has a year left tops.
Yep.
So I got on Google and started looking up galvanized chain link fences because I'm very particular when people come out and talk about stuff, and I found a chain link fence. Let's see, I have it written in my notes. I Googled it. Data shows that a galvanizing can provide between 34 to 170 years on a fence's life.
And that's what he said he would get him, right?
No, he said he was going to get him aluminum.
Oh, and he had galvanized.
Yeah.
Well, I thought like, man, there's chain. I don't know my metals. Well, I know metals if they're on guns and knives, but I don't know like that. But I mean, yeah, I was thinking like when he said that, I had like a minor little thought of like, man, I've seen that like in my elementary school. I'm pretty sure those are the same chain link fences that were there when I was a kid, and I mean, they're still doing their
Right.
thing.
Also, the Gadsden flag really didn't become a thing until 2009.
Really?
But these are all just kind of nitpicky things. Well, the
Talking about
Gadsden
the
flag's
Don't
very
Tread on Me?
old. I'm sorry?
You talking about the "Don't Tread on Me" flag?
Yeah. That flag itself was very old, like Revolutionary War time like design. However, it didn't become associated with any of the Tea Party until 2009.
Interesting. I don't, now that you like, I feel like it might be one of those things where it's like because you're just so used to it. Like, it blows my mind that cornhole got popular in like 2009 because in my mind, I was like, people really just started playing that around, but it got real popular. I remember it the same, but it's like you feel like it always has been.
Right.
So it's like I feel like I knew people that had that sticker on their trucks, but I might not have. I might just be so used to it now that like, it's weird how your brain will put stuff.
Right. It was a thing. I mean, it didn't become like associated with a political movement until 2009. So, I mean, I guess it would be possible to be there, but who knows?
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Michael Myers says, what are some other video games you would like to see made into a TV show? Resident Evil, which they tried, and it was absolutely horrendous. It was awful, like just beyond words. I don't know why they can't make a Resident Evil screen adaptation that is even remotely decent, but definitely would be Resident Evil with someone like HBO behind it. Matt, Seth, what would you like to see?
One of my favorite games came out in 2010, Fallout New Vegas. Love that game, awesome story, but like I don't know how you'd make that into a TV show because like there are so many ways the game can go. Like you can make the ending kind of how you want it to be.
Right, so it'd be a little bit harder to like have. Well, that was kind of like
you can make an interactive TV show. I don't know how yet. Like I loved the story of New Vegas, but like man, there's so many factions you can choose and decide the outcome of the game tremendously.
Well, yeah,
like it all kind of leads to the same ending, but like who gets control of the New Las Vegas and like the Mojave Desert area.
Oh yeah, I think Seth, what video games would you like to see made into? I wouldn't limit that. I'd say a show or a movie, just some kind of film adaptation.
Well, Matt, just to touch base on yours, do you have Amazon Prime?
I do.
Well, then stay tuned because Fallout is in production.
Holy moly!
Yeah, it's going to be it says 2023, but they're in filming right now.
That's what happens on this podcast. Dreams come true.
Yeah. If I had to make a video game show, I'd like to see a good Watch Dogs. One or two. Different storylines, but either one would be pretty cool.
I want to say, well, another one that I would really love, I don't know if I would say just show per se, but like Bioshock Infinite's like my favorite game of all time. So I would love to see some kind of Bioshock adaptation somehow, whether it be, a show, movie. I want something Bioshock, 1, 2, or 3. I don't care where they try. Infinite's my favorite, but 1 is fantastic. 2's okay, but Bioshock would be good. I mean, Red Dead Redemption would be cool if it got like the HBO treatment. There's a lot of potential out there in the video game market. I think up until recently, video game movies, I don't feel like, if you really look back at like Mortal Kombat 2 and Resident Evil and a lot of the video game and Doom, a lot of them, I don't think the directors of the film companies really took them very seriously. It was like, all right, this is just a cash grab. Let's slap something together and get it out there and make money. Whereas,
I like money.
Indeed. Whereas now it feels more like, okay, like they're realizing that, hey, there are video games out there that have better stories than movies do. So, I think they're getting a little bit better treatment. So I'd like to see some of these get a shot. Let's see. Can the video game or TV show Joel beat many of the Walking Dead characters in a fight? I mean, he's like Rick. I mean, he's not a Bamf in the sense of like he's got some crazy fighting skill. He's just brutal and does what he's got to do. That's kind of Rick's thing. I mean, there's plenty of people in the show that could take Rick in a fight, but Rick's he'll bite your throat out. He'll do what he's got to do, and Joel's a lot the same way. He wouldn't beat
a few good couple blows.
He wouldn't beat Daryl because Daryl's got plot armor.
Yeah.
I don't think he could take Jesus. But yeah, I think
he could take me to Jesus.
He's also, you got to think too, though, Joel is almost 60. So I mean, that's but Joel's also had 20 years of this living versus The Walking Dead, which
he's got the experience and the street cred.
Towards the end, I guess they had like, I don't know, 10, 12, 13, however, I couldn't keep up with the time jumps, but they had some experience. But like Joel's had 20 years of this life. So I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. I think this game by Telltale called The Walking Dead would be a good TV show.
I think so too.
Dead, the first one was really good. I didn't play any past that one, but the first Telltale Walking Dead up through the end of Lee was fantastic. H2O. But yeah, any final thoughts? You guys are quiet tonight. Matt's really quiet. I'm gonna blow him up for a second, Matt. I need you to talk.
I've been wanting to say something. I just haven't had the chance to say it yet. I was being respectful.
Say it.
I liked Frank and Bill's relationship portrayed in the show. Like I can't remember what he said exactly, but when he was wanting to like paint the house and like fix up some things to make them look nice, he said something like along the lines like, you want to pay attention to the things that you love, implying that, hey, Bill, like these are things I need and things I want. Let's make them happen. But it was said in a way that I really liked, that resonated with me.
And Frank was once again a British actor who does an incredible American accent. Because it just blows my mind.
Do you remember what he said, like when he's talking about like fixing up the house and like making some of the stores or boutique look like renovate them, make them look nice?
No, not. I always watch these episodes 2 or 3 times a piece, and that's why we used to do. So when we used to do The Walking Dead, when we first started this channel, like we had thought about like doing a live after the thing, but one viewing, it's like, I don't know, we would like to watch it at least 2 or 3 times between airing and podcasting for little details like that. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it was along the lines of like being mindful and attentive to your partner. Like, Matt, yeah, you're going through the motions to keep things preserved, but like you're not being mindful, like you're not going above that, meeting some needs or desires. It was said in a way that I'm like, I like that.
That's so sweet.
It was. I'm a bit of a romantic. I cry at weddings. I just love.
No, Matt.
I do get choked up.
Man, I one day on this podcast,
please, if you got the footage,
Matt's footage of his wedding where my dad mic'd him up for the to record him on camera, and Matt was.
Oh, I was.
I've never heard more of a congested human being in my life. It's just like.
So me and Snot was running. I'm like, oh my gosh.
My dad's like, is he always snort like that? And I was like, yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
And he's like, I wish I'd have known how to cut his mic volume down about half. Matt cried when Pope.
I
died
did.
on The
Yes.
Walking Dead.
I had to call out sick the next day from work. So I just couldn't handle this loss. I needed a mourning period.
I don't want to live in a world where Pope is.
I chugged the drug wine, the drugged up wine.
All right. Let's I guess Seth, anything else you want to get off your chest or say before we wrap this up? I'm going to put you full screen even if you don't.
It's not where I wanted to go. You know, I was really looking forward to more of Joel and Ellie. I know that they did touch on some stuff, but I really needed to see them learning to work together more.
Gotcha. Well, hey, we've still got 5 more episodes, and these are long episodes, so hopefully they'll focus more on that.
We'll get a montage.
Probably.
With some music, it's like dun 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 dun, dun. And it'll show them like at first not getting along, and by the end they're like putting a tent together and smiling, and it's like
they're in a gym powerlifting,
working together. Oh well. I guess before we go, we'll rate the episode. Let me guess. 2 and 5.
I'd say, yeah, I liked it. It was a good episode. I would give it a 5.
Seth,
I was going 2.5 or 3. I couldn't decide.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
I liked Bill's and Frank's relationships and their dynamics. It was sweet.
Part of me would give it a lower score, but I have to remind myself when they depart from the game that, you know, sometimes they're gonna do that, and they have to do that, because if we continue to know everything that's gonna happen, it's just gonna take, you know, I don't know. I see the need from a creative process to switch it up sometimes. I just would have liked to have seen more. You said more of Ellie and Joel. I wanted to see more of like Ellie, Joel, and Bill. Like I wanted to see those interactions. I wanted to see Bill, because he definitely in the beginning I could see him fussing at Ellie for touching his stuff and all of that. And then like he became an old man and unalived himself. And I was like, well, Ellie never gets to meet Bill. But other than that, I thought it was good. But don't forget to subscribe and like the channel if you like show coverage. We do these live after each show on Sunday nights, and we're not going to get much of a break, because by the time we wrap up this show, I guess something Walking Dead will be back on. So
no rest till we're dead.
I've learned that. So like, subscribe, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thepodcastingdead. Don't forget you can send super chats, you can send super thanks. All of that helps to support the channel, and also the retro reviews. If you are a longtime listener, I've got some sad but good news. The retro reviews, we're going to cut them down to once a week. They're going to come out on Saturdays, because I don't like that I don't have the time I need to edit them. I like putting pictures and clips and sound bits and things like that. And at this rate that we're going now, I'm just be able to get the audio and video lined up and get it to YouTube in time. So
I don't have time. Like the audio and video just terribly mismatched.
Well, hey, you remember that time that your editing software froze and it was like a shift, like for everything seemed to be like off a line for a little bit.
Yep.
Those are the good old days.
I will have a whole week to edit it and be able to produce a much more refined, better finished product. But for those that don't care about the video aspect, you'll still get 2 a week on Patreon and on SoundCloud and iTunes and Spotify and all of that. So, you know, some good and bad. Just here on YouTube, it'll be once a week every Saturday. So, but yeah, so check us out. And that's why I say Patreon and super thanks, super chats, because I got to buy Jesse the same mic that Matt has, because hers is just getting to be like a 30-minute debacle before each podcast. So thank you so much.
Hey, you guys should click that link right there, the Podcasting Dead link tree. That way you can go over and look at our Rumble, because we do have a Rumble. That way you can go look at our Facebook fan page, and you can have fun, interact, do all kinds of fun stuff.
What's
you
in it for
can
me?
you can see our Twitter account, which isn't really active, but as soon as Justin can get me logged in, we'll be more active.
It
I don't know the
exists.
password. I created that like 8 years ago and never used it.
Fail. But anyway, you can also just check out all of our social media. All of that is accessible through that link tree.
I'm
That
posting
one
Justin's
little
home address too if you want to visit
shop.
him and say hi.
Yeah. But yeah, go check out the link tree. Just check it out. Go enjoy and click around and do all kinds of fun stuff.
Man, I was looking for the right sound effect when you were talking. It was
If we can get to 100 subscribers over on Rumble, we can do live streams over there. How cool would that be?
it would be amazing.
And once Justin gets a paid StreamYard account, then we can do multi-streams to Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble.
Yes, so donate to Patreon so I can
Yeah.
afford that. In the meantime, I'm Justin.
Do it.
Metadubs.
And we'll see you next Sunday. Well, we'll see you tomorrow for a retro review, but we'll all see you next Sunday
Live.
live and in
Or
person.
unalived.